Hey everyone, it's Katerina with Meat Fueled Living, and we are here again for another Coffee, Carnivores, and Questions. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever it is that you are drinking, and come on in. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about all things carnivore. I actually have a couple guests in again today. And I will bring them on the stage and they're going to go ahead and introduce themselves. But we have Dave Sanye. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's almost hit a year on the carnivore diet and has just a wealth of information for you guys. So definitely be asking your questions. We've got Larry with Carnivore Soldier. He's been on before. Everybody knows Carnivore Soldier. And Brett with Who's Your Carnivore. He is returning. He was also on a live a couple days ago. So everybody go ahead and put in your QQQ in front of your questions and let's have a great time.
I made this. It's one of
All right.
Hey, there it is. Hey. So we will go around starting with Brett, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Just talk a little bit about your journey, and then also let's hear your carniversary date.
Yeah, my name's Brett. I'm the Who's Your Carnivore. You can find me on YouTube with Who's Your Carnivore and on Instagram. Got a YouTube channel about my journey in the carnivore diet. And I do, I talk about carnivore and I do some cooking videos. And I've got a video just out about a 9-day fasting challenge coming up. And we can talk about that here in a little bit. But my carniversary is today, 9 months carnivore today. I started on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So today is 9 months and I've never felt better.
That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Dave, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, my name's David, and let's see, my carniversary is about January the 20th. I'm pretty sure it's the 20th. But yeah, I started out. I was more of a low carb eater for a couple of years prior to that. Not really real low carb, but I was, pretty much a meat and vegetables guy. And then kind of went keto early January for a few weeks or a couple of weeks, and then switched to carnivore. But yeah, like I said, I don't have a YouTube channel, but I've been doing this for about a year, and come to learn quite a bit over the past year, and following a lot of pretty good channels. So, I mean, like I said, I probably know just as much as anybody else knows at 1 year. Once you've been in it a while, you kind of learn a lot of the staple of it, And thanks for inviting me, by the way. I appreciate it.
Always, always, always happy to have you. Last but not least, Larry with Carnivore Soldier.
As I said,
he's got a big announcement.
Yeah, Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. Life is good. I started my carnivore journey a few days after Who's Your Carnivore there, and March 22nd. So I'm almost at my 9-month point. Looking forward to the year. I can tell you right now, this is the most chill, relaxed, mentally relaxed Christmas holiday season I've ever had. That's what I got to add to there. So yeah. And yeah, that's what's going on.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I am about 18th is my carniversary. So I'm about 152 days in only. So I'm the newbie here, but let's see. Does anybody have? I don't see if any questions in here yet. Happy carnivore. What is baby? 9 months.
Yeah, I guess at 9 months I have a carnivore baby now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's Ellie. Hey,
Ellie. Fantastic. Love you, Ellie.
What'd you say, Dave? It cut out.
Oh, I've been following Ellie for a little while. She's got a pretty good channel. We've got a real good channel. And I just keep seeing her back and forth on different live streams as well.
Awesome. Oh, here we got one. She's 229 days, so
Awesome.
she's up there too.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, her transformation's been, you know, for before her early, like her pics that she's used when she first started to now. It's a pretty dramatic change. You know, it's interesting to watch a lot of carnivores that lost that much weight. It's pretty. It's a radical change. You know, for the better, of course.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
To say it's life changing is an understatement, and not many things in life really are life changing, right? Especially in such a quick time. I can think of a few things that were in such a quick time life changing. One is going in the military, going to basic training. You come out, you're a different person, and that's about the same amount of time that it took to get huge results in this. So, when you get something like this, and especially if you've never experienced something life changing, which I think a lot of people might not have, like a short period of time that really changes your vector for your life, this is something to check out. That's all I got to say.
That's a great idea for a video.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a great idea for a video. Carnivore boot camp.
yeah. That was, I think, my second video was a carnivore boot camp, but I didn't.
Oh.
It was pretty terrible, so I'll probably remake it for 2024.
There you go.
Do a Rev 8.
I mean, your first videos are pretty rough, right? I was like a robot, like, I am making a video. Welcome to my channel.
Yeah. You make it all in one take because you don't know how to use the editor very well. So you just do it all in one take.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or like me, you still don't. But yeah, so what Larry was saying, there are so few things out there that you can honestly say are life changing, the birth of my children, those types of things. But I can say that this, especially how I was feeling, just 152 days ago and wanting to just, not be alive anymore to now, just every day is such a blessing. And it truly is. I say all the time, nothing short of a miracle.
I mean, what's it like? It's just so amazing to wake up in a good mood every day. Because really, I do. I don't wake up ever in a bad mood. And I used to. It was at least 60% of the time I would not be in a great mood when I got up. Now it's like, man, I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I went out and weeded my backyard yesterday and had fun doing it. Put on some music. I'm like, man, I'm gonna weed my backyard. And we have in Texas, we had like a late fall where the weeds just pop up and the grass is still dormant, so they just pop right up. So it's easy to grab them. And I spent like 2 hours out there with my dog, man, and had a good time. And I never would have liked that was a good time. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, no. We get the same exact thing here in December. My lawn is pretty much brown, but I've got these patches where these weeds or types of grasses that just pop up out of nowhere. But you either got to break out your string trimmer or have somebody come over and do your lawn or whatever, or pull weeds, whatever. Yeah. Same winter.
We got a question. 4:07 p.m.
Yep, I see it right here.
Who wants to take
So Rich has a friend that started carnivore. What are some do's and don'ts? So this is a good, what is carnivore, what is not carnivore? Anybody want to start out?
Well, don't count calories. That was one of the things that a lot of people tend to do. I was a little guilty of it at first because I was kind of used to counting carbs when I was kind of doing low carb and then keto. You tend to start counting things, but when you're carnivore and you're just eating animal products, don't count the calories. Just eat until you're full. It's just almost impossible. I hate to say it's impossible, but I have yet to been able to just eat so much meat that I gain weight. Maybe you'll gain theoretically a pound after you finish eating a pound of meat. Yeah, but it's metabolized very quickly. And before you can get to that point where you just can keep eating and eating, your brain shuts your hunger out completely, where you just literally cannot swallow another bite. And it will not do that with carbohydrate-based meals. You'll just keep eating until you kind of feel stuffed, but 20 or 30 minutes later, you'll be ready to start piling it back in. So definitely, that's my one tip. Do not count carbs. Just eat as much meat as you can until you're full, and then stop eating. And then when you get hungry at some point later that day or whenever, or the next day, eat again.
Yeah, I would say not even just not count calories. I'd say don't count any macros.
Exactly.
Just eat fatty meats and fatty foods with
good point.
animal fats until you're not hungry. That's what I'd say.
I'd say be careful not to undereat, because this is a lifestyle, not a diet. You're not cutting things out so you can lose. Make sure you eat until you're full, and do it at least twice, if not 3 times a day when you're starting out.
Right.
Yep. I think you don't need to help this. You don't need to help this diet. You don't need to like build in fasts and cut calories. You don't need to help it. All you need to do is trust the process, eat the right foods. Your body will give you the cues to stop or start, and it'll just work. So trust the process.
And don't mix standard American diet foods with just eating a bunch of meat, because I know a couple people that say, oh, well, I'm already carnivore, I eat a lot of meat. Well, if you're eating all of that meat and all that fat, and then all of those carbs as well, or, drinking those carbs or the calories, then you're going to do damage. So you need to cut all of that out. If it is not meat or, dairy, if you're doing butter and cheese, and it's not animal based, then do not eat it at all, period. Because like I said, I know some people at my work even that say, I'm carnivore, I eat meat all the time, but that's not carnivore.
Yeah. And then the other thing is cut out all sweeteners, artificial and natural. And because they'll elicit an insulin spike. And even if they're not sugar, and they'll also keep your cravings coming. So if you want to fight cravings all day, every day, then keep taking them. If you want that out of your life and you want to control your body, which is amazing, when you're free, when you're not a slave anymore, then get rid of all your sweeteners.
At least until like for me, I added some back in, but I couldn't initially, because in that first couple months for me, every time I would put them back in, I would want more and more and more. But
when you're starting, when you're starting, you have to cut that out for sure, I think. And then the one thing that Dr. Chafee says, which I really agree with, is every 1% you deviate from a pure carnivore diet, you lose 10% efficacy in your diet outcome. So if you're doing 95% carnivore, you're getting about 50% results, which stands to reason, because when we were doing keto, most of us, I don't think you have, but most of us, Kat, you never did keto, right? Most of us did keto.
Yeah.
If you've done keto, you don't get nearly the results, because you're probably getting about 10% of the result of the diet, because you're about 8 or 9% off of what you need to be eating. So really, if you want to tighten it up and get the maximum results, if my friend was doing it and said, I want maximum results, high speed, then I would say cut everything out, do BBBE or Lion, and that's it. And just drive on. Do it for 4 to 8 weeks, and you're gonna get maximum results.
One other thing I wanted to say is there's a lot of purists, I guess, that will insist that unless you're eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef, then you're not really truly carnivore, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. Right. It might be a little bit better, but I'll tell you what, if it means a difference, and I think Larry's brought that up, if it means the difference between, look, I can't afford to buy this ribeye because it's $80, whereas you can buy a regular, ribeye in the store, which is about, I want to say it's probably 99.9% as good, because the cow ate a little bit of corn. The massive amount of nutrients you're going to even eat in a grain-fed cow is still far exceeds anything else you're going to eat. So, like I said, I mean, you can incorporate some of the premium meats later on, but man, when you're just getting started and you're on a budget, the corn-fed, chain store stuff is still going to be fine, and most people have done massive improvements just on that cheap stuff alone.
I did.
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
do. I still eat Costco.
I do too.
I
mean,
say the
sometimes
same thing.
the
Go
only
ahead.
thing that I really the only thing that I was buying consistently for a while, and then I don't do it all the time. I was buying the Kerrygold butter. But even then, I didn't notice that huge of a difference between that and regular, butter. So I mean, I think you're going to be fine. Well, I'm 99.9%. You're going to be fine, even if you don't go the whole grain fed, grass finished, or the grass finished, or the free range chickens. If you can, I mean, I'm sure with the 8 to 12 eggs I eat a day, I'm pretty sure I'm getting about the maximum amount of nutrition that you're going to get. Maybe a fractional amount I'm missing out on, but I mean, still, like, I'm getting a massive amount of nutrition.
Right.
And I say the same thing about eggs. A lot of people kind of give me a little bit of grief about the eggs that I eat because right now what I can afford is the 60 pack from Walmart that are white eggs. Maybe they're not the greatest, but they still, as I always say, they're infinitely better than that for me, that eggplant that I was going to eat earlier or whatever,
Right.
So I tell people all the time, and you know what? I even ate Spam yesterday. Somebody told me,
Yep.
oh, they can't afford to
I eat
eat
Spam.
carnivore. And I'm like, well, how about some Spam and eggs? I bet you can afford that. And it was good. So
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't put myself up anymore over buying the expensive stuff. If I won the lottery and I can go buy me a bunch of ribeyes, then that's amazing. But if I have to just eat ground meat and the Walmart ground meat at that, I'm perfectly happy with that.
and to be honest, grain-fed cows are actually grass-raised, and they're grain-finished.
Oh, yeah,
So,
they're on the field.
so they all eat grass, and then they
We
finish them with
yeah.
grain to get the marbling, to get them fat. Because guess what? Anyone out there eating whole wheats or steel cut oats and everything, grains make things fat.
Yeah,
I mean, they have fattening tables they use to fatten these things. They know what they're doing.
Mhm.
So don't eat grains.
I grew up on a small farm, and once the calves were born out in the field, they drank mom's milk. Mom was 100%. The mother was 100% grass. Grass fed while she was raising calves. The calves ate grass as they weaned from the cow, and then my dad would separate them. Maybe the last few weeks before they were slaughtered, they ate grain for a little while just to fatten up, and he liked that marbling. But I mean, they ate a lot of grass between the time they were separated. So I mean, it's not like they were born and went straight to grain.
Right.
Yeah. My last do would be to clean out your kitchen and your cupboards.
Oh,
get all the non-carnivore processed stuff out of your house. Get all the seed oils out of your house, and make your home a domain of keto or carnivore or whatever it is you're doing.
Stay away from the keto treats.
Yeah.
That's what derailed me years ago. I lost a bunch of weight doing keto, and then that's the time when all those treats started coming out, and it just led me back onto the path of eating the regular crap. And
Me too.
I ended up losing my weight twice.
That's the difference the main difference between this and just a regular keto diet, I think, is the keto diet it seems like they're always looking for, any of the groups are always looking for ways to get around. What can I cheat with? What can I get more? What can I do to get a better, and it's also, the other thing is, it's about the food being an entertainment. Okay. So, and that's something that I've renegotiated with my body. I've learned that food is not an entertainment anymore. It's a biological function. I just eat when I'm hungry. Now, I do like steaks. I do enjoy eating, but I don't plan around it at all. I used to plan everything around meals, vacations, weeks, having my son on the weekend. Everything was a planned meal. And when I pick him up, I tell him, oh, we're going to have this on Friday. We're going to have this on Sunday. And I tell him. And that was like the highlight of the stay with dad. And it's like, now it's not. And, he's carnivore now too. So he's like, all right, ribeye is cool, or meatball is cool, whatever.
That's what makes holidays so hard, though, especially for people who do have food addictions, because holidays are about food.
Yep.
And at least that's the way that it is normally portrayed. I mean, I'm trying very hard to focus on, my family and that type of thing. But like a lot of people, it's probably another conversation, probably what you're having today with the Christmas one. But this time of year is going to be hard for people in general. Not only that, mental health wise, it's going to be really hard. And if people are like me, when they're having a bad day, they turn to food. So, what's nice about the carnivore diet, though, is there isn't that just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. We're not all just constantly thinking about food all the time. And I don't have those cravings. Like, the 12th of December was the anniversary of I always talk about my mom dying, but for me, it's still really hard. And it was hard, and it was really hard for me. But I would have in the past turned to a bag of Cadbury eggs or whatever it is that I was eating at the time to help comfort me through that. So the carnivore diet has really helped with that emotional side too. But it's just so different that food is no longer that key player in my life, at least. I'm assuming everybody's in carnivore.
We got a new question for, at 420 from Nourishment Reduction.
I'm rolling down there. I was yakking away. Just real quick, though, while I'm looking, you said 420.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody check out
420,
Larry's Christmas. Speaking of Christmas and how to deal with that, Larry's going to be on a live stream tonight with Carrie from
Yep.
Homestead House and Dante Faringo and Kevin Wilson.
Yep. Yeah. So they invited me to be on it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be talking about how strategies to get through the holidays successfully. And I'm all about strategy because military, so I'm about planning. So this is going to be a great talk, I think. Should be fun.
So what would be something physical that someone would notice if they hadn't seen you since you started carnivore? Very good question. And what is something invisible that has improved that they wouldn't see? So we might start at the top, Brett.
Well, I'm down a shirt size from 2X to 1X. I'm down 2 pants sizes. And I mean, you can kind of tell when I go back and look at some of my pictures when I started that, my face is thinned down a little bit. So, you can definitely tell physically that I've dropped weight. And something invisible, I guess, if they see me get out of the car or if I'm down on the ground and I have to stand back up, they'll see that it doesn't take any effort for me to do it like it used to. They won't hear me complain about, aches in my elbows or any of my joints or anything. So that'd be one I could think of right away.
How much did you weigh when you started, man? And what are you down to, if you don't mind me asking?
I was close to 300 around the first of the year. And I whittled it down a little bit before I officially started carnivore, but I've dropped 60 pounds since my heaviest.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Dave, you're up.
Okay. Well, I mean, I lost a total of about 40 pounds. The biggest thing that people did notice was just a loss of weight. And I don't go around shirtless or anything, but I am more muscular, even though I'm not really lifting weights. And somebody did ask me the other day, like they asked me if I had been lifting weights because my arms looked a lot more muscular. That's just because I bike a lot, and I'm in a really tight riding jersey, and my arms are pretty much more muscular looking because, one, I think I've just lost a lot of fat, around my biceps, my forearms, so I'm a little vain, like I'm pretty veiny, I guess you could say. So that's been noticeable. Now, no, I don't think no one's really said, hey, you look a lot more relaxed or anything like that. I do feel a lot more relaxed, but I think I'm a lot more confident now about myself. And so, yeah. And one, I've been sleeping so much better. Like we had discussed that early. I wake up, I can go to bed kind of late, 10, 10:30, 11. But seems like 6 hours is fine. I'll wake up at like 5 in the morning and I just get right out of bed. I used to be like, I would wake up and I just sit there and kind of, oh, let me get back to sleep. I just don't want to get up. I wake up and I just pop right out of bed and I go, I get out. I may either, depending on the weather, I'll go sit on the back porch and, put on some music. I'll get some coffee going, but I'm just ready. I'm kind of ready to go. And I don't have this thing where I just want to stay in bed. But yeah, I think, and the other thing is I've lost a lot in my face. My face was very puffy. I sent Larry a photo of myself once, kind of what I called it. I had already lost some weight, but my face was just so fluid filled. It looked fat. And that's all gone now. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, I just feel a lot better.
Awesome. Larry.
Yeah, this thing is the hot tub time machine. That's all I got to say. Because I think people would notice I look younger, and I've lost 46 pounds. And so from 280 to 234, which is the weight I was in the 90s. And the reason I know for sure this is the weight I was in the 90s, because I had this ring, and this ring is a medal I got in the Navy. It's a submarine warfare ring. It gets your dolphins. It's like your wings. And I had it made into a ring in the 90s when I got out. I got out in 90. So I think it was like 92 or 93 I had it made. I brought my dolphins in and said, can you make a ring with this? And they're like, yeah. And I put rubies in there. And then I took it off in the 90s, like I think in the late 90s. And I never could put it back on because my fingers started swelling up and it would never fit. And I was in the bowl, and last week I was like, I wonder if that thing will fit me now, because I didn't even think about it. So I grabbed it and put it on, and boom, it's back. And I'm like, man, that's amazing, right? So yeah, the hot tub time machine would be the first thing they noticed that I used it. And then the second thing would be that they don't notice, and I like to talk about this, that everyone notices the weight loss, and that's a weight that's on us, right? It is physically on you. But as in the military, we all have mental weight on us, and not just military, everyone does. But I mean, the military is a different kind, I guess. And I think everyone's mental weight, the weight on the stress, the anxiety, PTSD, all these different things, when that gets lifted off you and you're med free and being med free. I mean, I'm not on any meds, and that is huge. Yeah, right. That is huge. Were you on before though? Were you on? Yeah. So yeah, it happens to my sister. So many people. It's like, it can't be wrong that this is the way to eat. It cannot, because everyone's getting off meds and they're like, oh, you're going to have a heart attack. Yeah. Okay. All right. Eat that pizza and donut and come back and talk to me. Tell me about that.
Right.
I really want to know your opinion, because you're doing so well.
Funny how they weren't worried about it before when you were 300 pounds.
Well, and then it's not exclusive
They were
to
offering you. Here's some pizza.
And you deserve it. It's not exclusive to people that aren't carnivore either, because people in carnivore, they keep driving me crazy. Like, how much protein should I be getting? I'm like, were you counting protein when you're eating pizza or hot dogs?
Whatever
if you're not,
sounds
don't worry
good.
about it. This is going to be infinitely better than that. If you just switch to meat, you're fine. Don't worry about counting anything. Just eat the meat and trust it.
Just don't eat like skinless, boneless,
Right.
meat,
fatty meat. Yeah, adipose tissue, fatty meat, and ruminant animals.
Exactly. Don't try to get the low fat type meats. Make sure you're buying brisket and roast beef and all that good stuff, steaks.
You'll get rapid starvation eating that low fat stuff. Trust me. Protein
So
poisoning.
for me, on this, the physical thing that I think somebody would notice is, of course, the weight loss. Everybody tells me my face looks a lot different, like from some of my first videos. I've lost 40 pounds now. So that's something that they all see, and they also see that I'm a much bubblier, happier person. I mean, I was a pretty miserable person there for a while. But what they don't see is piggybacking on what Larry said. And as an example, when I get done with this live today, I'm going to Denver, to a really big place with a lot of people, and lights, flashing lights and things like that. And the me 100 152 days ago wouldn't have even considered sitting in the car that long, because it's about an hour drive, let alone going around all of those people. And if I was, I would have been strung so tight. I wouldn't have been able to enjoy myself. I would have just felt like having a panic attack. And the fact that I can go do this and nobody around me knows that 152 days ago I was terrified to be there. So that's my big thing that is invisible, that people can't see, that is, there's so many things about the carnivore diet that you don't see, my medicines that I'm not taking anymore or whatever, but that one for me is the biggest life changer. We have another question: what fast food options to stay away from? All of them.
Well, you can eat burger patties. To be
Yeah,
fair,
you
you
can.
can eat if you're in a pinch, but if you're in Texas, you don't need to, because you have barbecue in every corner. Real barbecue, no barbecue sauce, just smoke. But if you're in other states, I feel for you. So I would say, hey, Carnivore Cure's here. Cool.
Yeah.
I would say you could eat burger patties from like McDonald's or Wendy's are my favorite. I think they're yours too, right, Kat? Wendy's, they're good.
I prefer Wendy's. Yes, I do prefer Wendy's, but I do McDonald's, because if the line at Wendy's is too long, I'll scoot through McDonald's.
There you go.
Yeah, I've done the patty. I've done the a la carte order from McDonald's twice. I haven't tried any other ones, but it was
Not bad.
about $1.65 a patty for a quarter patty.
And it's not bad. And if you order more than 4, they have to like cook them then and there, so they're really hot.
Yeah.
That's a trick I learned. So always order 4, or at least 4, because they never have that many, I don't think, sitting in the warmers. So
We got a question at 428 from Bill MC. Yeah, so I think, there you go. 115 days carnivore in the last 2 weeks, put on 1 pound per week. Any experience similar to this? So I did have, I didn't put weight on, but and 1 pound or 2, it's not a big deal. That's you could be putting on muscle. Your body composition could be changing. Are you working out? What are you eating? When I stalled out, looks like a stall to me. And that's about when it happened to me too. I switched to an ultra pure lion diet for a month and lost 13 pounds immediately when I did that, because the stall was being created for me, dairy. I can tell you that right now. So that's the only thing I really removed from my diet: dairy and coffee. I removed.
Dairy can be the devil.
Yeah, you don't know what it's doing because you haven't cut it out. Now, if you have, it could be something else, but it could just be body composition too. Are you lifting weights? Are you running? Are you doing anything? So it's hard to tell. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd say a pound a week for 2 weeks is nothing to worry about. My weight can fluctuate that much in just a day or two. So just keep an eye on it. And if it becomes a trend, I'd say, like what he just said, it might be time for just doing a change up in your diet. If you're eating twice a day, maybe do a week where you're just doing 1 meal a day, or, just do something to change it up, change what you're eating. Because sometimes, your body can get used to eating the same old thing all the time. So you may just throw your body a little change up.
Dairy or like pork rinds. Some people pig out on pork rinds. That's bad. I mean, you can do that. Also, you need to check your measurements and not weigh so often. I don't weigh myself. I haven't weighed myself in 2 months now, but my pants fit exactly the same, if not better. Actually, they're looser. So I know I'm on track and I just feel great. You trust your body the way it feels.
Yeah.
And I know from a woman perspective, we go up and down constantly throughout the month. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. But when I did stall, it was dairy. And it seems like every time it's dairy, it's always dairy. So, so he even said too much cheese, maybe. And he lives 4 days a week. So.
Well, and this is the thing. So cheese should not be eaten except for as a condiment. That's where it's really. So you can put a little slice of cheese on a burger, but not sit there and eat a block of cheese or chunks of cheese or cheese cubes. That as a snack, that's a no-go. Yeah. And people misread that and they think, oh, cheese, dairy, I can have dairy. Well, dairy is supposed to be a condiment, so maybe a little sour cream to dip stuff in or to dip your steak in, maybe. But really, if you want optimal results, remember what we talked about. Every 1% you deviate from a pure carnivore diet, you're going to lose 10% efficacy. So if you're eating cheese and that's maybe 2%, you're only getting 80% of your efficacy of your diet, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
very little cheese. It's always been the culprit for me. It's been the culprit for the pain that comes back in my knuckles because I have arthritis. It's been if I have any kind of bloating, which thankfully doesn't happen a lot on the carnivore now. But if I have any aches and pains, runny nose, sometimes it's always stinking dairy, always. And then I know it's time to cut it back.
Yeah, I think that's just too because there's sugar in just there. Well, except maybe some of the hard cheeses or most of the real cheese. There's not going to be lactose in there. But if you drink like half and half or even heavy cream, there's a little bit of sugar in there, and then maybe that enough to trigger some inflammation. I do eat dairy. I mean, I eat a little bit of sour cream with a couple of my meals here and there. I do have a maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of pure half and half in the mornings. Not every morning, but that's just 3 or 4 grams of sugar. 1 gram per serving, really. And occasionally, I'll have some yogurt, just pure plain Greek yogurt, but I don't eat that much at all. I say the main source of my dairy really is going to be butter and half and half. But I don't like drink a glass of half and half or anything like that. I drink a few tablespoons of half and half.
I think butter's great. That I don't count that as dairy. I do.
Yeah.
I've never cut that out of my diet.
Yeah.
Whenever I say something about that dairy, or I'll say if you're doing dairy, there's always somebody in my comments that says butter's dairy, and I'm like,
Me too.
yes, it is. It doesn't. Here comes the cat. It doesn't bother me like dairy does.
It's dairy without all the bad stuff, basically.
Yeah, I think
all the bad stuff out. So.
Yeah, there's no I don't think there's any lactose.
No.
In butter, and I think the lactose is what's going to trigger that inflammation. So that could be the problem. But like another thing, like if he said he was lifting weights regularly, yeah, he could be just putting on muscle mass. So.
Yeah, because it's really anabolic. It's an anabolic diet for sure. It puts muscle on fast. I noticed I'm out sprinting. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing band exercises, and I'm putting on muscle faster than when I used to go to the gym for an hour a day. And I'm working out very short periods now. And it's pretty amazing. Oh, I see a cattail.
It's a different one. This is the fluffy one. It's usually bare, but it's this one today.
So and this is the dairy thing is maybe not a permanent thing either. If you're trying to get to a target, you're like, hey, this is my target. I want to get here. Then you can cut everything out, go line until you hear a target, and then one at a time reintroduce dairy and things in. You don't have to do it forever, and then decide how it affects your body because N equals 1. Everyone's different. I don't get arthritis from dairy, but I do get a stoppage of weight loss. So I kind of plateau out.
Yeah. And I mean, if that's going to be your cheat, a little bit of dairy, man, that ain't a bad cheat.
That's right. You're pretty clean.
Yeah. Because it's an animal product. So, and the a million Maasai warriors can't be wrong.
Right.
They love, of course they're drinking raw milk too.
I don't take any supplements at all. I eat a lot of butter, which has plenty of K2 in it.
Yeah.
And now I do keep D3 on hand for if I get feeling like I'm going to get sick. I haven't been sick yet. I've had a couple of days where I felt like something was coming on. I took some D3, went to bed, woke up, and I was fine the next day. So in the past, I think I would have been sick. And I think the other thing is, I think Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Chafee both talked about this, that the D3 levels that are required in your blood on a standard American diet are much higher than the D3 levels in your blood to protect you when you're on a carnivore diet. So the standard that we're shooting for is going to be much lower in our blood to still protect us because the anti-nutrients in the diet of a standard American diet, they actually counteract, and we have to like overwhelm that D3 requirement to make sure our body can. But when you're on a carnivore diet, your immune system is working at peak performance. So it needs very little D3 to help it, I think. That's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Am I right, Dave? I think you've seen those, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't take any supplements. I take a little bit of little drops for
Iodine.
yeah, iodine. I take a couple of iodine drops in the morning.
I do that sometimes.
But I mean, as for vitamins and stuff, I stopped taking vitamins. Yeah, and that was just the thing, when you're eating, if you're eating a lot of carbs, especially standard American diet, you do need a lot of supplements to overcome your body, all the stuff from the carbohydrates is blocking the absorption of a lot of vitamins, is what I've read. And without the carbs, your body just requires so little of those vitamins that you don't really need to take them. You're just getting plenty of it from the meat.
Yeah, you also get K2 and D3 from meat itself. Like DC learn and live in fats, right? When you break fats down. So yeah, you're getting plenty. Where in the standard American diet, you aren't getting much of that in your diet. Not that's bioavailable.
Yeah.
Some plants have vitamins, but we can't get them out of the plants properly because they're the wrong type, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Are you taking any vitamins? Nothing?
No, I don't supplement at all. Just vitamin meat. That's about it.
That's a good one.
And like I've heard Chafee say before, if you're eating the proper human diet, it shouldn't require any kind of supplement.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're getting everything, you should be getting everything you need from the food that you eat, if you're eating the right food. So I've been just trying to eat the right food. And matter of fact, we just had a little bug go around our house a week or so ago, and everybody had a cold, and I got it for like a day or 2 days maybe, where my nose was runny and I didn't feel my best, and then it was gone. It's like my immune system, was just on peak performance and defeated it quickly.
That's what I felt like when I was on the cusp of getting sick. My son was sick, and I was taking care of him. And then one day after that, I kind of felt a little off, but it wasn't like I could miss work or I couldn't concentrate. Like in the past, I'd be in bed, man. I'd be like, all right, I'm out, and I'd be calling in sick. So now I get to use my sick days to go play hooky if I want to. But I just did a review. I do movie reviews, and I usually do them on documentaries. But I did a review on Castaway, which is actually a Tom Hanks movie.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
He's a carnivore on that movie because basically and listen, this is my premise. If he was there with a vegan on that island, the vegan would have died because the vegan couldn't eat anything there. And even if the vegan had all its favorite vegetables there, had potatoes and corn and kale and everything they wanted to eat, they would die too, because there are 4 years and you're not going to live 4 years without B12, and there's no supplements. So the point is, he actually did a diet that was very low carb, carnivore-esque to get ready for that movie, where he lost 50 pounds during the movie from the first beginning when he started out eating standard diet. Then he went on extreme diet and lost 50 pounds. And in the end, he looks like a carnivore because he is. He was eating a lot of fish and coconut water, not the kind you buy from a store, which has all that stuff, like real coconut water, and drinking just water. And that's how you lose weight. So
Rich wants to know what y'all are doing for Christmas dinner.
I'm making a prime rib. I'm gonna smoke a prime rib on Big Joe, and that's kind of my number one tip for the holidays. Be the cook, because then you can be in control of what's at the party.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to my wife's youngest sister's house, and that's usually a big meat fest because I'm sure there'll be a pork roast, turkey, some type, and some other type of meat. There's usually 3 big meats being cooked there for any of these type events. And then, there'll be, because there'll be plenty of, vegetables and pies and cakes and all that. But I won't have any problem because there'll be so much meat there that I'll be able to pretty much stuff myself just on that alone. I mean, yeah, if I do have a slice of something, a pie or something, but I'm definitely not planning on doing that. I was able to get away with that on Thanksgiving for the same reason, pretty much.
So Errol Channer has a question, or not Errol. Yeah, he's asked if anyone knows about Leicester cheese. I believe that's called.
No.
Yeah, it's like a British cheese. I think. I think I've had it before. I went to England and I think I had it there. It's not that it's low carb, so it's not the carbs in the cheese that are necessarily causing the problem. A lot of times it's just the is it casein or casein, right? It's the proteins, the dairy proteins are causing a problem a lot of times, and that's what the reaction is. So yeah, low carb is definitely better. Hard cheeses, if you're gonna eat cheese, and definitely stay away from any of the processed, pre-sliced, pre-shredded, because that's all got seed oils in it.
Yeah, the Velveeta's
together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how I will not assume that anything I buy, like when I'm looking at cheese, I will actually look at the back label, and just make sure that the only ingredients is like, milk and enzymes. And if there's anything else that, like, usually there's some, I'll usually just pass on that and just pick something else that's just, pure cheese product,
So the statement about let's see. Yeah, I don't eat liver, but I eat liver crisps from Nose to Tail Provisioning.
Oh, that stuff's good too. I tried.
Yeah,
those.
they are good. Hey, listen, they have a better recipe out. It just came out. I just ordered another bag. I order a bag every month because I consider that okay. So that is a supplement, I guess, but it's a whole animal meat, so it's not really. But that's my supplement is liver crisps, and they're like potato chips. They're really good. Missy said something, and you posted this about a tiny bit of dairy can be an issue with some people's autoimmune conditions. So if people do have problems with butter, they can try ghee, which is a purified version. And if they have reaction to that, then it's take it all off the table and just stick with animal fats.
Yeah, I use a lot of ghee. I like it because I can fry at high heats in it, and it doesn't.
It's got a higher smoke
Butter
temperature.
always burns for me.
Yeah, I like I like ghee as well. I made my own ghee a couple of times, and it's really good. It's easy to make. There's tons of YouTube videos on making ghee, and I did
You
it.
just cook it long and low, right? Like at low heat for a long time.
Yeah, there's some little tricks, I guess most all the videos are the same. It's maybe the only difference would be some people have slightly different modifications, but the process is usually the same. A real low, slow heat, constant stirring, kind of thing. But yeah,
Kind of like you're making a roux, right? Remember how you make a roux? You got to sit there and stir for hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for a little bit until you get that roux made. Yeah, but I haven't made a gumbo from scratch.
I haven't either. I used to,
especially now. I don't have a desire for it anymore.
Nope.
Well, Homesick Buckeye says he eats cream cheese like a candy bar. I'd be in the bathroom if I did that.
Yeah, that's not it's probably not a best practice for carnivore. And when I talk about best practices, I'm not saying it's like off the shelf, off the books, but if you're gonna, you're supposed to eat it as a condiment, not as a snack. So you're probably eating too much dairy, and it will probably, for most people, reduce or eliminate their weight loss and their healing. So I would stay away from that.
Yeah, and like I said, if it's kind of some people just don't do well on dairy. Some people it doesn't bother. Like with me, I don't have any problems. I don't eat a lot of dairy, but it doesn't seem to cause any issues with me. And that's the only thing I would maybe think you could do is if you think that's part of the problem, just cut it out for a couple of weeks and see if you feel better or if that might be what's causing your weight to stagnate, or something.
Yep. Well, you're a lean mass hyper-responder too, so you are a special case. Okay, I'm not. None of us here are except for you, I don't think. So we might get different responses too because we're not that. I think that makes a difference. And you're quite an athlete too. You put in a lot of training. So none of us here do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about that, I'm thinking about doing that next year when I have my VA appointment. Like apparently they've been able to tremendously lower your cholesterol levels for lean mass hyperresponders by just adding about 70 grams of carbs a day for about 6 weeks. You can bring your LDL level all the way back down to like 100. A few people have done that. And I'm thinking about doing that for my VA checkup next year. Just about say about 4 weeks prior, I'll just eat like a sweet potato every day and go in with like a 100 LDL level just to freak the doctor out again. Like, how did you do that? Because he knows he's not prescribing me any statin. So I'm like, hey, I just ate, I ate a sweet potato once a day. But I don't even know if I'll do that because I'm seriously not thinking about going to that doctor again. So I've got a regular primary care doctor now. So, and she's more supportive of me being on carnivore.
Cool.
So Arlene, Dave is the one that's in the lower corner. He doesn't have a YouTube channel yet. I don't know if he's going to make one or not, but that's why, he doesn't have one yet to put out.
Yeah, not going to happen. I do have a YouTube channel. Like if you go, it's just stuff I've uploaded. You'll see a lot of Purple Martin videos on there. That's about it. It's nothing. It's definitely not monetized, so. But you can find me by just looking for DSONYAY, I think, and you'll see just a lot of Purple Martin videos on there.
So no plans ever to start a YouTube channel, Dave?
Nah.
No.
It's a lot of work.
I'm too.
You got to be. It's a commitment, man. It's a commitment.
I'm too busy keeping up with y'all's. That's the
Yeah.
You are always. I know you're one of my biggest supporters.
I watch these channels more than regular TV. Like I get more enjoyment out of them. I like the live streams, and I just get I find they're more entertaining than most of the TV you can possibly watch.
It's hard being a creator and a fan of so many different channels.
Yeah, it is hard because you want to support everyone and you also want to continue your education. That's the other thing. We had something in the beginning. They said, what would you tell them when they're starting? And that's it, to dive in and educate yourself every day, especially in the beginning. Watch 5, 6, 10 videos a day to get going until you really get a grasp, because you need to get a quick education to know what works, what doesn't. And unless you want to all, if you don't, there's no reason to experiment just on yourself. You can learn from other people's responses to foods and kind of figure out what will work for you. I still recommend you do experiment, but you don't have to do crazy stuff. You can just kind of watch videos and find out what doctors recommend and what has worked for people. So very, very highly recommended you watch some videos.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we're actually getting close to the end of the hour. And unfortunately, today I cannot stay late because I have a prior commitment. So I wanted to talk real quick, have Brett and Larry talk about what's going on their channels. If you haven't gone and subscribed to their channels, the links are in there, but it's Who's Your Carnivore and Carnivore Soldier. But, what do you guys have going on this coming week? Or you have anything you want to tell anybody about?
Well, I'll start off saying I just had a video launch this weekend with a 9-day no food fasting challenge. We did talk about that a little bit, but you may find, I know Carnivore Soldier and UCAT and several other YouTube channels I tagged on that video. So if you see where Who's Your Carnivore has tagged you in something, that's where I tagged you. That's what I tagged you about. And it's a 9-day fasting challenge, 9 days fasting for me. But anybody who wants to join up, I wanted to see how many people wanted to get in on it, make videos about it, share and be part of the community. And you can do whatever kind of length fast that you want, because we're all in different places in our journey. If you want to do 1 day or 5 days or do the whole 9 days along with me. And then it was also kind of a 2-part challenge because I'm starting it on January 1st And that's also the time when millions of people try new things. They join a gym, they do a diet, they do something. So why not try carnivore for 90 days? Do the carnivore 90-day challenge on 1/1. Start it, learn about it. I say in the video, you got 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks till the end of the year. Start watching videos, learn all you can. If you need to learn about fasting, watch some fasting videos. If you need to, if you're just a beginner and you want to know more about carnivore, I posted videos from Ken Berry and Dr. Jason Fung about fasting and how to start carnivore. So that's what kind of my push for the last part of the year is going to be, getting this 9-day fasting challenge going and see who all wants to join me on it. So, any of you?
We talked about that already. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
pressure.
coffee part for me. It's if I could have the coffee, it
You
would
can
be
have
okay.
coffee.
But just,
If it's
no, you
I
said
was
water only.
Well,
So,
if you wanted to have, if you watch my video, I'll say water, coffee, unsweet tea, anything that's unsweet and doesn't, have any fat or protein in it.
I wanted
and
to add
Dave,
one
I know
thing.
you don't have a channel, but do you got anything you're working on this week?
I'm trying to beat a PR on a hill that's real popular around here on my bike on Strava. Somebody that's ranked number 25. I'm within tenths of a second of beating that time. My goal this week is to beat it, just to be in the top 25 on this hill section. But other than that, the only thing I wanted to say too was I watched a really good documentary on YouTube. It's called The Magic Pill. I watched it for the second time.
Seen it?
Larry reviewed it on his channel, and it's an excellent video on people that went keto. And yeah, it's more keto based, but it's still relevant. And there's a very popular couple of YouTubers on there that you'll recognize. But they profile 4 or 5 families and some autistic kids that went on keto. It's an excellent documentary. It's called the Magic Pill. So watch it if you can.
Yeah, I think that that was a great movie. And even though they are keto, they're a fat-based diet, right? So they're focusing on fats and not sugar. And that's so that's like the JV version of carnivore, right? And you go varsity, you go carnivore, and you go to animal fats, and you cut out all that avocado, all that olive oil, all that garbage.
Yes.
And you go just to animal fats, because guess what? Our ancestors never ate olive oil. I mean, they just didn't. I mean, some may have eaten some olives, but olives aren't everywhere. There weren't all olives in the Central Plains of America. There was a lot of buffalo. So on my channel tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, I thought it was 7. It's actually 6. I'm streaming live with Homestead How, and I'll be streaming on my channel as well. But Homestead How, Carrie, and then Dante Ferragno will be there. And then there's another carnivore. If you guys might know him, Kevin Wilson, SBC, will be there. So there's 3 other carnivores and myself. We'll be talking about strategies of getting around Christmas. I do review movies that Dave brought up. Most of them are documentaries, and they're really good. Great for recommending to friends and family. And they're free to watch online. Everything I review has a link to watch it free. So you can watch it on YouTube or Tubi on your TV. And then I just reviewed this week, again, Castaway, which is a great movie. And so it was that's a carnivore movie, an actual real carnivore movie. And then this next week, I'm going to be doing my deviled egg recipe, because I have a lot of people ask me to do a recipe video on deviled eggs. So I'm doing deviled egg recipe for carnivore for you guys. And, I do put a little bit of mustard in there for color and stuff, and not, a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So it's not like, don't be a purist if you want to eat these deviled eggs, right? But trust me, they're great. They're worth it.
Mm. You put bacon in them too?
I do bacon bits on top. I top them with bacon bits.
Oh,
they're awesome. My son loves them.
The bacon mayonnaise to make the deviled egg?
I make smoked bacon mayonnaise. I get smoked bacon, and I capture all my fat, and then I make my own mayonnaise. So it's my mayonnaise. Yeah, that's part of it. I already have a recipe for the mayonnaise, which Dave just watched, right?
Yeah.
I know you said, I can't believe I haven't seen this video yet.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I got to get that little tool too. So as soon as I get that, I'm gonna start.
Stick blender. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll put a link on my page. The one I got. It's not that expensive. Like $15, I think.
My
Not bad.
sister-in-law
Yeah,
has
they're not
one.
expensive.
Borrow one.
Well, for my channel, sorry, there's a cat head in the way. For my channel, I have my daughter came over and we did we did my measurements. I haven't done one of those in a long time, so we did my measurements and a weigh-in, which because people always seem to really like that. And I was going to couple that with my latest lab results, but I am waiting for my particle count to come back. I had that done on Friday. So my cholesterol numbers all look really, really great. They look amazing, but I did want to see that. So once those come back, I'm going to go ahead and combine it into a twofer and put that video out. And I've moved my lives to Sundays, typically in the evenings. This one was a little early because everybody had a lot going on this evening. There will be one or two, I think, still for Tuesdays in December, but then we'll move straight to Sundays after that. And then I will do something for Christmas, some kind of Christmas food video. But I haven't. It's here. I'll have to figure that part out. But that's what's going on with my channel. It's a lot. There's a lot going on all around, so it's hard to stay focused at times. But it is actually the top of the hour. I myself have somewhere that I need to go to. I know Larry has somewhere, and Brett has somewhere to go to. So we're actually, Dave, I don't know if you do or not, but we're going to actually go ahead. Just goofing off. I'm going to go ahead, and I do thank all of you for coming and sharing all of your insight, and I absolutely love every last one of you. But I'm going to go ahead and pop you off the stage real quick. Close this out. Don't leave yet. I want to say goodbye, but hold on one second. Let me just pop these guys down. But thank you again, everybody, for coming and tuning in to the live. Hopefully you had some of your questions answered. And as always, it's always a great time. Really appreciate all of you coming. If you haven't liked, comment, share, subscribe to Brett and Larry's channel. Mine too, absolutely. It would be really great if you could do that. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until we talk again, you eat your meat.